You are not being watched nearly as closely as you think you are. In 2000, researchers put a college student in an embarrassing t-shirt and sent him into a room full of strangers. He guessed that half the room would remember what he was wearing. The real number was under a quarter of that. He wasn't wrong about being noticed. He was wrong about how long anyone cared. This is called the spotlight effect, and it runs your life more than you'd like to admit. Psychologists Thomas Gilovich, Victoria Medvec, and Kenneth Savitsky ran the t-shirt study at Cornell. They picked a shirt deliberately chosen to be embarrassing. A large printed face of a musician most people in the room would find uncool. The student put it on, walked into a room of people already seated, sat down, and left shortly after. Then came the two questions that mattered. How many people in that room, he was asked, do you think noticed the shirt? And separately, researchers actually asked the people in the room who was wearing it. The wearer's estimate was roughly twice the real number. Consistently, across repeated versions of the experiment, people believe they're being watched at nearly double the rate they actually are. The mechanism is simple once you see it. You experience your own embarrassment from the inside, vivid, immediate, impossible to ignore. Everyone else experiences it from the outside for about 4 seconds, then returns to whatever they were already thinking about, which was almost certainly themselves. This isn't a flattering insight about human attention. It's actually the opposite. Nobody is watching you closely because everybody is too busy running the exact same broken assumption about themselves. The room isn't ignoring you out of unkindness. It's ignoring you because everyone in it is convinced they're the one being watched. The effect doesn't stop at clothing. Gilovich's team found the same pattern with opinions stated in a group discussion, with visible mistakes in a performance, even with something as small as a poorly worded text message. The gap between how exposed you feel and how exposed you actually are holds steady across almost every social situation researchers have tested. There's a second, quieter effect hiding inside this one. Psychologists call it the illusion of transparency. It's the belief that your internal state, your nervousness, your discomfort, is leaking out and visible to everyone around you. It's usually not. A racing heart during a presentation feels, to you, like something the whole room must be able to see. Studies on this consistently find observers rate the presenter as far calmer than the presenter rates themselves. Both illusions trace back to the same design flaw. You have exactly one internal experience to compare against your own, and in the absence of information about anyone else's, the brain defaults to assuming they're running the same intense narrative about you that you're running about yourself. They're not. They're running it about themselves. What's strange is that this gap isn't fixed. It shrinks with age and it shrinks with social exposure. Studies on social anxiety consistently find that people who avoid social situations, the ones who most need the spotlight effect to be untrue, overestimate scrutiny the most. The people who've simply been in more rooms, made more visible mistakes, and watched the world fail to care each time, calibrate closer to reality, which means the fix isn't a mindset shift, it's exposure. Every awkward moment you survive and forget quietly teaches your brain the actual size of the audience. There's a reason younger people report the spotlight effect more intensely than older people. Adolescence is, biologically, a period of heightened self-focus. The brain is still building the machinery to model other people's internal states accurately, and in that gap, it defaults to assuming everyone is watching. Most people's most excruciating memories come from exactly that window of life. Not because more people were watching then, because the miscalibration was at its worst. Here's the part that should actually change something. If the spotlight effect is this consistent, this well documented, and this universal, then the version of you replaying an old mistake at 2 a.m. is likely the only person on earth still thinking about it. The room moved on in the time it took you to walk out the door. I disagree with treating this as purely comforting, because it cuts both ways. The same effect means your best moments are also being noticed less than you think. Nobody is that impressed either, but the trade favors you. The bad moments cost less than you paid for them. That's the whole finding.